There's one thing I probably should have done before we start doing all the wiring stuff, and that's unhooking the battery. If you're doing this, unhook battery first. We're going to go do that right now. All right, so we're back with the right-hand man again. This time we're in a different location. We have a different truck. This is my 2019 Silverado, and the reason we're here because the last time I was with you, we put mirrors on your truck, your 2004.
Which is fantastic.
And I was so impressed with them, I want to do it on my truck. So now we've got mirrors for my 2019 Silverado. They're pretty much just like yours. They've got the turn signals, dual. These don't slide like yours do. They're stationary.
It's got a real good looking guy in the picture too. Look at that.
One thing I did add to these is they have the daytime running lights. So these will be white when I'm just driving down the road. And then there'll be sequential turn signals.
Nice. And it looks like something else is going to go right here.
There is a cover on these. They come black. I decided to paint them to match the truck. So when we get the mirrors on the truck, we'll finish them off with the colored portion so it's paint matched to the truck. These will also have the power fold functionality, so I'll be able to fold the mirrors in because these stick out a little farther than the mirrors that are already on the truck.
So they'll be parking lot friendly.
So we're going to get started on the driver's side door, disassembling, getting ready to take things off, and then we'll show you how to get these installed. So I went ahead and disassembled the passenger side door so that I would know what I'm doing, and I watched the video. Boost Auto has a great installation video for this. So I'm going to walk Jacob through doing the driver's side door.
Awesome.
So the first thing I'm going to do is take the angled pick, and you're just going to hold this out, and there's a little slot down here. You're going to stick the pick in and pry that cover piece out that's back there. There you go. Now you can take the power ratchet, and there should be a screw back there that you can take out. All right, so we're going to remove the trim piece here. These are pop tabs, so they're just going to kind of pop out.
I'll pull up here while you do.
There we go. I'm just going to work it down the door, and then it slides out there. Now there's 2 screws down in here that we're going to have to get out. So we'll just use the power ratchet again. And then the easiest thing that I've found to get those out is just using a little magnet, stick it in there.
Oh,
grab the screws.
It's better than fat fingers.
And there's 2 more bolts on the bottom of the panel that we'll need to take out as well. All right, now this is where things get a little more difficult. It's mostly just because you don't want to bend plastic, but you got to pop the door panel off the truck. And then there's going to be pop tabs that are right in here in this area also that will need to get popped out. That corner is the hardest one because you don't have a lot of room to work with against the truck. And we're just going to lift it out of the truck.
I think I got one more attached. Yep. I feel one more. There it is.
All right, so get the camera person to angle down on top right in here. You can use that if you need to. So there's a cable right here on the door. I'm going to squeeze it and pull against the cable. Not easy to do from this angle. Can you hold that? Try my left hand since I am left-handed. There we go. And then release that. And then there's a cable down here that does all the controls for the truck. There's a pop tab in the door down here, so I'm gonna see if I can use this trim tool to get it to pop out. There we go, and that should release the door panel. Now the door panel's off, we're going to...
It's a little bit cleaner than my 2004 vintage.
I feel like they've changed a few things over the years.
Just a few.
Now I'm hitting the seat thing. I'm going to pull the grommet off right here to get to the mirror. There we go. Now I'm going to need a deep well socket to get these nuts off, and then while I'm taking those off, I'll have Jacob hold the mirror to make sure it doesn't fall and break. When we did your truck, I dropped one of the nuts down in the door panel. I'm going to try not to do that this time.
Where was your magnet then?
All right, I'm going to release the wiring harness. There it goes.
There you go. It's tradition.
Pull back on the red tab. Then depress the black piece. And we should be able to remove the mirror.
What's next, Professor?
All right, next thing we got to do is take the speaker off so that we can get the wiring harness for the mirror out of the door, including inside the door jamb. So I need the 7mm socket that's sitting there. All right, I'm going to see if you can get the camera in here. I'm going to remove this door jamb boot that's right back here. And then there's a connection that goes from inside the truck from that. So I'm going to separate that wiring harness and release one side to go in the cab. And the other side we're going to pull through the hole that we just made by taking the speaker out. All right, so it is a little tricky getting this boot out. You have to depress a clip from the very top and pull back at the same time. So we ended up having to use two pry tools. We used one to get angle up the top and push the clip back, and then one to pull back on it. So now you can see that boot has been disconnected right there. Now we're going to disconnect the wiring harness. So there's a red tab that you're going to pull back on top of this harness. And then there's a white tab that you'll need to get under and lift up on. And that releases the wiring harness. So you're just going to rotate this back all the way in order to pop this wiring harness out. And we're going to go ahead and feed it down through this hole. All right. And then there's a wiring harness on the cab side here. And we're going to pull this through to the cab. And then we're going to basically do the exact same thing on the passenger side door over there.
That'd be the right side.
The right side?
I know you don't like right, but right side.
One thing that I will need to do before we start working on wires is pulling a couple trim pieces up so that we can get those wiring harnesses into the cab. So I'm going to pull these up that are here by the seat. Right, so now we're going to start mounting the new mirrors. He's going to feed the wires through this hole right here.
You got all three of them?
I have two.
Here's the third one. Reach up. There you go.
All right, and then we're going to push the bolts through the mounting holes. I'm just going to snug them down a little bit at a time. That's not snugging. All right, and then we'll do the same thing on the passenger side, and then we'll start working on wires. All right, so the next step of this process is doing the wiring. We have the new mirrors on the truck. This long wire here is the one that's going to run from the driver's side to the passenger side under the dash. This is the door harness wiring for the passenger side. This is the door harness wiring for the driver's side. This is the relay for the under dash wiring harness. And then this is the wire connector for the RZY harness that you get from Boost Auto. And then these are the Bluetooth receivers that make the power fold function and the other functions on the mirrors work that I didn't already have in the factory for the truck. The passenger side one only has one connector to plug in. The driver's side one has two connectors to plug in. So I'm going to recommend following Boost Auto's instructions. I'll link their video down below, and that's going to be a lot smoother than watching me do it in this video. So we'll get done with this wiring and then we'll come back and show how everything works when it's all said and done. So we've got most of the wiring done, almost all of it on the driver's side, especially stuff under the dash. Because it's not easy to get a camera under there, again, I recommend looking at Boost Auto's wiring information for doing that. But we're going to start putting the door panel back together and finishing up the driver's side door. And then we'll move over to the passenger side once we get this finished. So he's going to hook the speaker back up to the door, or the wiring harness. And then he's going to slot that back in the bottom. All right, so we're going to put the screw back in with a 7mm socket. Now we're going to start working on the wiring harnesses for the Bluetooth receivers. We got these two right here. The first one is going to plug in up here. And the second harness is going to plug in. It comes with these two connectors because the orange ones are for a different functionality that I did not choose for this truck. So we'll just end up taping that one out of the way. And then the blue and yellow one goes right here.
You raise me up.
Okay, so we've installed the Bluetooth receiver on the door panel, and there's two plugs I have to plug in here. There's a 4x4 and a 3x3. So we're going to plug those in to this side. You're going to do essentially the same thing on the passenger side, but there's only one plug on the passenger side instead of two. Now I'm just going to tie up a lot of this loose wire, find a place to put it, and then we'll reassemble the door panel. All right, so I've zip tied a good bit of this wire and taped it up, hoping that none of this rattles. Unfortunately, there's really no good place to mount this box to, but this is where Boost Auto tells you to mount it, so that's where I did it. I've rehooked the control module for the door panel right here, and now I'm going to rehook the door lock cable. Like that. And now we're going to get the door back on. Then we're going to pop it into all the little pins around the door. So after putting the door panel back together, my right-hand man notified me that I forgot something. There's a grommet that goes on the hole for the mirror, so...
Jeez!
Now we gotta take the door panel back off.
No one ever does that. So, now we get to do it all again.
All right, so he's gonna unclip those couple of wires right there so I can fish them through this hole that I just cut in the grommet.
Hey, don't forget to put the grommet in.
Wish you would have told me that 10 minutes ago.
I saw it on a YouTube video. Make sure you put the grommet in.
Now we'll put the door panel back on again. It's a new day, and now it's time to reveal the new Boost Auto tow mirrors on the 2019 Chevy Silverado. There they are. I think these look really good, especially with the color matched portion at the top. This is the shadow gray metallic. My dad actually painted these so that they would match. One thing you'll notice about this design is it is a stationary tow mirror. It doesn't have the slotted section to slide in and out from the truck. And the reason Boost Auto went with a stationary design is because the way that GM designed the tow mirrors for the current generation trucks, it just has that single arm holding it instead of the dual arm mounting design that you see on previous generation Silverados. That results in quite a bit of rattle for the mirrors, especially when they're extended all the way out. So to avoid that rattle, Boost Auto went with a stationary design that is not the same length as a fully extended mirror, but it's also not as short as a mirror that is slid all the way in either. It's about halfway in between. And with the power fold functionality, which these mirrors do have, and I will show you how that works shortly, I believe this is a really good design. I think it looks really good. And I think Boost Auto did a great job of counteracting that shaking and vibration that the factory GM tow mirrors have because of this single arm mounting design on these new generation trucks. So I guess now that I've told you what these mirrors can do, let's take a look at how everything looks with all the functionality. It is really hard to see in the daytime, but this is the switchback white light. You can kind of see it flashing in the video, so you can see the light is on. You can see up here we have the lights on the truck as well. This is what the sequential blinker looks like. Of course, this is during the daytime. You can see it does that scanning where it starts on the inside and then goes out towards the outside as the lights are lighting up. And now that the blinker's on, you can really see that right there, the blinker built into the mirror as well. Now when I put the truck in reverse, you see those reverse lights come on right there. I can show you here, the truck is in reverse right there. Put it back in park, and if I turn on the cargo lights for the truck, that also turns on those lights right there, so you can see it on the side of the truck as well. But now we're going to go over the biggest function of these mirrors, the power fold. So on these controls, I don't have factory power fold in the truck, so I don't have that power fold button. But with the Bluetooth receiver that was installed, I just activate the mirrors and then activate the receiver by going left, left, right, right, and then pressing the down or back arrow. And there the mirrors have folded in. And if I hit the front or up arrow, they will fold back out.
Down to the river, down to the river. Oh, bury me, carry me, oh, far beneath, oh, fire and water me, going down deep, say, oh, bury me, carry me, oh, far beneath, oh, fire and water me, washing me clean, kerosene creek.
Now that you've seen the Boost Auto tow mirrors on the truck, let me know down in the comments what you think of this upgraded mirror set for my Silverado 1500. And definitely keep an eye out for upcoming videos. I'm thinking about doing a review and comparison video between this set for the current generation Silverados and the ones that we put on my cousin's 2004 Silverado. Maybe do a little combo video with both of the trucks in it. So make sure you're subscribed so that you are aware of when that video drops on the channel. If you're interested in a set of Boost Auto tow mirrors for your truck, check out the link down in the description below. There are additional options for functionality that I did not choose for my particular set here. So you may find some additional items that you like to place for your order. If you thought this video was helpful, you liked the way I showed off the mirrors, give the video a nice little thumbs up. But for now, that's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching. This is Southpaw Garage signing out.